session, Skills for Net Zero Jobs. This is curated as a Ask Us Anything session for students and early career professionals to learn about the skills that will be in demand as the world economy pivots towards decarbonization and where corporates and governments focus on delivering on their net zero commitments. This session will be moderated by Mr. Prasad Vaidya, Director of Solar Decathlon India, and others experienced with placement and recruiting in this area will answer questions and share what they look for in candidates. I request the panelists to please come onto the stage as I call their names. Mr. Prasad Vaidya, Director, Solar Decathlon India. Mr. Prasad Vaidya is a Director of SDI and a Senior Advisor at AEEE. He's a lead fellow with 25 years of experience in energy policy program development and net zero energy building projects over 150 plus buildings. Next, I call upon Dr. Azad Sahir, Assistant Professor at IIT Ropar. Dr. Azad is an Assistant Professor at the Department of Chemical Engineering, IIT Ropar. He earned his PhD in Chemical Engineering from the University of Utah, US, and his previous experiences includes working with US Department of Energy's National Renewable Energy Laboratory and with Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited Corporate R&D Center in Greater Noida. Next, I would like to call upon Mr. Prashant Dikshit, Deputy GM, Commercial Applied Solutions, Carrier Air Conditioning and Refrigeration Limited. Mr. Prashant, with over 23 years of extensive industry experience, is a leader of the Commercial Applied Solutions business in South India. Prashant also spearheads the Carrier Club Solitaire Initiative in India, a unique program focused on disseminating insights into technological advancements in the HVAC field. Welcome, sir. Next, I would like to call upon Mr. Monish Siripurappa, Principal Architect and Studio. Monish Siripurappa is an alumnus of SPA Delhi and IIAC, Spain, and the founder and the Principal Architect of Ant Studio. His studio has received international recognition for their work on nature-inspired biophilic passive cooling building envelope. The nature-based low-carbon air cooling solution called the Coolant won the Asia Pacific Low Carbon Footprint Challenge and was funded by UNEP. Welcome to all of us. Now I request Mr. Prasad Vaidya to moderate the session. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you. So I did a little bit of rearrangement of the room earlier. I'm going to do it again because some people may not have been in the room when I made that announcement. Any students sitting in the chairs behind, please raise your hands. Yeah, please come and sit in front. This is your session. This is a session for you. And of the people who are sitting in the back, if anybody thinks that they want to hire students or has been hiring students in the past, either because you're a faculty member who's running a research program or because you are in the business, I'd like you to come and occupy this table over here with Namrata and Saket. Is that it? That's all the students we have here. And that's all the employers that we have here. Guys, bad news for you, there's not that many jobs. And bad news for you guys too, there's not that many students. But anyway, this is going to be an Ask Me Anything session, which means that it's going to be interactive if you make it interactive. And there's not much that we have to do over here because my job really here is nothing. You're going to ask the questions, they're going to give the answers. Okay? So there are a couple of rules though. First of all, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tables of students. I'm going to give you 1 minute and you're going to huddle together and put together 2 things. One is any takeaway that you have from the conference, just one takeaway that you have from the conference per table, and 1 question that you have for the panelists to start with. Okay? So your time starts now. Thirty seconds over. 10 seconds left. All right, 1 minute over. Cool? Now, as we go through this session, we don't have a lot of time because we have a second session coming up here at 4:30. So we're going to follow a couple of time-related rules. When you ask a question, you get only 30 seconds to ask your question, so no long-winded questions, right? 30 seconds to ask your question, and the questions come from the students, typically. And panelists and people over here who are giving out the knowledge, 1 minute to answer the question, no more. Keep it short, keep it crisp, and we'll keep it moving because perhaps there's a lot of questions. Okay, so it's very simple. These are the 2 rules we are going to go by. And now I'm going to ask this table to come up with their 1 takeaway and 1 question. So first, the takeaway.
The takeaway would be the importance of sharing knowledge to make better policies for our country.
Okay, importance of sharing knowledge to make policies. Great, okay. Over there, table behind you. 1 quick takeaway.
Yeah, the takeaway was we had this quick fireside chat where Dr. Satish, he literally illustrated what it would be like to implement renewable energy without energy efficiency. It's basically a sieve and you're pouring water and it's just going out.
So from that we learned on a outside front, by seeing that representation, we were more involved in the conversation as well, and the chat after that made more sense to us as long as it made a personal connect. So I think that was something we took back as well.
Okay, so a demonstration of energy efficiency which is normally always invisible otherwise, made a big difference to you. Third table over here.
After coming here, we have learned that most focus in a residential or any commercial building is on HVAC systems, that they need to be energy efficient. Our question is that after coming up...
Keep the question, okay. So, yeah. Done with it, done with that, next table. Oh, sorry, we're going to move to this table. Guys, you have your takeaway?
So our key takeaway was learning about the difficulties and challenges in implementing new policies, and the special session by Aditya sir, it was very inspiring.
Okay.
And the new ways of how they are kind of trying to tackle the situation in our ideas, that was very inspiring.
Okay, excellent.
I will take it forward.
You want to take that forward?
Yes,
okay.
Sir, majorly we learn how in finding the solutions to the different challenges and problems in making the policy and implementing the these policies, how different multidisciplinary professional bodies works, and we also got that opportunity that we were cleared how we can contribute to these policies and implement it.
Okay, so coming to the conference has helped you understand how you can participate in all the stuff that's going on. Great.
Yes.
The last table there.
Okay, so the takeaway that I got was mostly from the sessions that we had for the paper presentations. So I'm myself involved in some academic work. So looking like a lot of researchers are doing the similar kind of work, especially in load profiles and energy management. And that actually was quite reassuring and it was very helpful for me to learn more stuff and how I can improve it on my own results. So
Excellent.
That was it.
So you got some reassurance that what you're doing makes sense.
Yes.
Right. Okay, this table.
So what I learned from the conference is that what discipline you are coming from does not matter, but if you have a single goal and you have an interface of expertise, you can design an integrated system and solve the problem at hand.
Wow, fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so now we come to the question rounds. You got your questions ready? Yes? Your questions ready for the panelists over here? All right. So you've heard what the students have gotten as takeaways. Each of you come from different areas of work. You're, of course, coming from the HVAC industry, and you're coming from the architecture and innovation industry, the buildings industry. And Professor Asad, you are somebody who has lots of students who are working with you, and you try to take their careers forward. So you've had some exposure with industry as well. So we'd like to hear from you. And then from time to time, I'm going to move over to you guys and ask you for your answers to some of the questions that are coming up. Okay? All right, table one.
Yeah. Hi, I am Lakshmi Sagar from Manipal School of Architecture and Planning, and we are sustainable design students. So I wanted to ask you all what kind of niche can we get into other than architecture in sustainable design?
So you're sustainable design students
Yeah.
and master's students, and your
Yeah.
question is, what areas can you get into other than architecture? Any of you want to take that up? Or any of you want to take that up? Jyotirmay? Repeat the question, please, once again. So you're already taking up the mic before knowing what the question is. Fantastic. That's the confidence we need, guys. So the question is, they are Master of Sustainable Architecture students. Having seen this conference, they are curious to know what other disciplines other than architecture can they get into.
Okay, so I have two beautiful examples in the country. One is Satish, if he's there. He's although he's not done masters, but yes, he has done BArch. Tanmay. None of them is doing regular architecture to the best of my knowledge. Okay, so the energy efficiency in buildings is such a wide area that you can really embark upon if you develop understanding of basic building physics and basic systems. So don't be scared of कि ये air conditioning है मुझे कभी भी समझ में नहीं आएगा. You can develop. Rather, these two guys understand much more air conditioning as compared to many MBB consultants with due regards in the country. Yeah. So embark upon that. You can be a professional. You can even be an MEP designer. I don't deny. There is no qualification, paper qualification that will make you MEP designer. You can be a better MEP designer if you because you understand the buildings better. Okay, so that is one. The other thing is there are a lot of jobs in policy analysis organizations, be it government, be it quasi-government, be it private sector, okay, NGOs. So there are a lot of jobs. In fact, a lot of architects are working in those kind of organizations also. So, and not only in India, but overseas also, there are a lot of job opportunity. ESG is offering a big opportunity for employment. So if you enhance your knowledge and if you diversify towards ESG, accounting procedures and all those things, that is also an area where you can have employment opportunities.
Thanks. So clearly Jyotirmay went beyond the question that you asked, and he also told you about what skills you might need or what you should not be fearful about. And that's, I want to keep the question focused on that, and if the question is not focused on that as you guys are answering, let's keep the answers focused on telling them what kind of skills, what do they need to do to be able to get these jobs. Table 2.
Hello everyone. So most of us at the table are undergraduate students, so we would like to focus our question on that. So first question is, as an undergraduate students looking forward for research, what is the threshold or the basic level of research that you're expecting us before we move on to masters or PhD that we want to pursue? And similarly on the same question, so how streamlined does the research that we are doing right now should be in one particular topic? So for example, if you're looking into architecture or into HVAC, how streamlined does that have to be? Or if it is a little bit diverse, it's okay. So that's the question.
Asad, you want to take that?
Thank you for your interest. First of all, this conference is a very unique opportunity. About 150 people have got selected. Let's come to the fundamental concept of research. What we are trying to develop when you are studying as an undergraduate is a basic core skill set, which will be augmented through participating in a research experience. Now you're an undergraduate. There are many faculty members over here in the audience as a first start to whom you can approach for an undergraduate research internship. Most institutions offer it. So that may be your first start, and you can you can leverage the poster session over here. They may be supervised by a doctoral thesis. If this is a doctoral thesis, then you can bridge that contact. Another important opportunity that I believe you may have leveraged or may consider leveraging, that there's some presenters who are doctoral scholars who are wearing a blue colored ribbon, or they may be a PhD student. Their labs may be offering undergraduate research opportunities. So the reason that why I want to bring out this point is that undergraduate research experience play an important role in going into research. Number one, the factor is that you get to learn advanced skill sets which may not be covered in the course curricula particularly. You're able to get a deep dive so you can use your summers to do an internship. And another important aspect is that don't get scared. Everybody has a learning curve. So whatever presentations that you are seeing today, they involve 3 to 4 years of work. Typically, if it's a research scholar, you may get, I would say, amazed by the results, but there's a lot of hard work, there's a lot of synthesis, analysis, which goes into developing those results. So what you could do, you may not have asked a question to them. So after the session, you can ask the question, I'm interested in your work. Can you please inform me what will be a good starting point? So these are some of the ways, if you're an undergraduate, you can easily bridge those conversations. And the kind of atmosphere which Prasad and Satish have created in this conference, along with the presenters, it's a very unique opportunity. One key takeaway is, if you have any fears of dwelling into the unknown, just drop them in the shores of the Goa beaches. Become a changed person. That is the key takeaway that I would have as an undergraduate. Thank you.
So, Asad gave an excellent answer. I want to have a follow-up to their question from any one of you. As an undergraduate student of either architecture or of another field, what are the skills that they should develop during their bachelor's so that they prepare for a research career? Who wants to take that up?
I'll just, in continuation with what
Are you going to answer my question?
Yes,
okay.
Second
Then
part. So first, another thing where you can think of is your project, final year project which you work upon. Now many colleges are also encouraging research project which you can take and work, which can lead into your master's or projects which you want to try. And answering your question, have a strong grip on fundamentals. So that's more important, right? So
no. That's a very general thing. That won't work. What should they learn specifically to build a research career? Strong fundamentals, though, it's a very general kind of thing. Give them something more concrete.
Okay, so especially software tools which are coming up.
Now we are talking, yes.
And get hands-on experience on live projects when you're working, when you're studying itself during your 4 years or 5 years curriculum.
I think I will not really answer this with respect to the students, but I would say that especially in architecture, you have this internship of 6 months or 1 semester that you have to make. So this is an appeal, in fact, to the Council of Architecture, where they do not allow us or the students to actually do their internship with non-architects. So that, I think, should be a starting point, because that's when, I feel that is that period when they will actually be able to learn on the ground and do research work if they are students who are interested, which currently is, at least in most of the institutions. There are institutions which are outside the university, some university purview, but most of them, ask for, so I think that's where that change needs to happen.
Thanks. Saket, yes, please.
I would want to play devil's advocate, right? I think skills at undergraduate level are overestimated, okay? What I would like to see as a preparatory journey to a good research career, and I just noted that down, is first is passion, okay? Next is having your peripheral vision open, right? You're doing something, but what else is happening around you, right? Because the creativity and innovation happens at intersection of two things, right? Sometimes we are too focused in doing what we are doing, and we forget how does it connect to the larger picture, right? And that is where I think innovation lies. Third is a problem solver attitude, right? So if you have a problem solving attitude, you will pick the skills that is required to solve a particular research question that you have, right? And the research questions would keep on changing your life. your skill sets to address them will keep on changing, right? But if you have that attitude, I think you will do good. And the last is never die spirit, right? It's not always a simple, linear, happy journey, right? And so I'll stop here.
One question for you, Saket, as a follow-up to this. What made you different during your undergrad that you ended up here?
Okay. Sorry?
Don't say luck.
I think so. Luck, you know, we also underestimate the potential of luck, right? But I was a lost soul. I will just tell you how I ended here. I thought I will do A, and when I was doing A, I realized A is driven more by B. And when I was doing B, I found B is driven by C. And when I was doing C, I thought I should be doing D, right? So I'm not a good model case.
Role model, huh?
Yeah, to follow, but I just followed my heart, right? And I think that is one more thing that you should do, follow your heart. Because end of the day, you are responsible for where you end up. You can't blame that Saket told you not to do B and do C and you fail and then you kind of blame Saket for the rest of your life, right?
Sure.
Follow your heart, have conviction, and you'll be good.
Jyotirmay has a burning desire to answer one question.
And that's actually a burning concern.
Yeah.
I don't know why, despite being very good in mathematics at 12, why architecture students are pushed away from mathematics during the co-study. Okay, relearn a bit of mathematics again, and a bit of coding also. If you know these two things, it will help you a lot.
Okay, thanks Jyotirmay. You want to add anything?
I think the first thing...
this has become a popular question, by the way. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is to question everything. Do not accept numbers or anything that you see by the book. And if you want to become a good researcher, especially in this domain of net zero and wanting to do not trust anything and try to seek what, like adding on to what Saket just said, like what is the basis for that? That will probably lead to the next question as to why is it, you know, what you're even following as assumptions, what's even basis for that? And that will take you, and probably after this, you'll find your own niche wherein you'll start saying that, okay, this is what the question that I'm answering as a researcher, and probably your first question might not be equal to the last question, what you're thinking. But that will give you the vision for the rest of your career.
Great, okay, thanks. Okay, so you got lots of answers to your question. Let's move on to table 3.
Hello, sir. I'm a research scholar from Bichpilani, Rajasthan. So I have a question for Prashant, sir. So what are the job opportunities in industry for research scholars apart from academia? And my second question is, what specific fields in refrigeration should research scholars be in good to actually get a job in industries? And are there opportunities in India for research scholars in the field of refrigeration?
Prashant, I think some of the audience is having a difficult time hearing the question. Can you repeat the question and then answer it?
Well, I mean, the very first question you would, want to know is that what are the opportunity for you in the field of refrigeration, right? Well, I mean, air conditioning and refrigeration, these are the two verticals which are growing at a much, much larger pace than ever. If you are targeting to be a professional in this segment or this field, the basic element is that you need to be very strong with the fundamentals in the mechanical and refrigeration, if you want to be on that particular part of it. But it does not limit, because this field is evolving. It's evolving towards more sustainable, and you can be very good value add there coming from your background of education. You can certainly add value there. You would see that sustainable transportation happening today, like where you transport from one country to another country, farm to fork, and all that concepts we hear. I mean, those things does not just happen because somebody sitting in a design room and doing that. It happens because of the intervention of a lot of tools. It happens intervention of multiple studies, and also most importantly, I mean, this is common for all, not only specific to this question. Anybody and everybody needs to start understanding how to read the data, interpret the data, and present the data. I mean, as long as you learn that, you'll be able to convince your immediate supervisor, you'll be able to convince your management on what you ultimately want to drive. no matter how hard you work, people will recognize only when you show the comparative. So I would say that, this is common to all the questions. If you have to develop certain skills, those skills should be around that. One, definitely yes, your core domain knowledge, but apart from that, cross synergies, how you would like to, read them, represent them. Secondly, having a greater understanding of what is happening, somebody mentioned in that table as well, what's happening beyond your domain, right? So there are connecting points at every stakes. So you need to try and, grasp that. I think if you are good at that, then you can, you need not have to have the core, competency. You can get the competency, otherwise also from, or the productivity from the people who are competent under you, right? As an architect students, I think I suggest or recommend that, you lead the, building industry. You are in the driving seat. Unless until you know what's happening to the other verticals, you may or may not be in a good control of that drive, right? Hope I've answered your question. I don't know if I've...
Prashant, I might have a follow-up to you on his question, but I think Asad wants to also take this question.
Excuse me, may I understand that what are you training yourself to be a global expert on in your PhD? What is your PhD topic?
Yes, sir. My PhD topic is on refrigeration. So
can you be a little bit more specific?
Yes, sir. So I am trying to establish a solar refrigeration plant for a cold storage, which is mainly focused for small-scale farmers, sir.
Okay. Now you're focusing yourself on refrigeration.
Yes, sir.
May I add solar energy to it, as
Yes,
it's a keyword?
Yes,
That's
sir.
another sector.
Yes, sir.
Then you can be a consultant.
Okay.
You're learning a number of skills. So my suggestion to you would be that definitely the doctoral research program aim is to work on a focused area. But how many people in the world are able to pursue their area for the rest of their lives? People gain a certain amount of problem-solving skills, and perhaps they are always open to opportunities. Maybe when you do a postdoctoral or maybe an industry visitation for 3 or 6 months, you are learning the skill set, so focus on what instrumentation you are working on, what programming languages you are doing, and you can, because it is only 3 to 4 years that you are dedicating to the problem. Maybe your first move may not be in the area that you desire, but it may happen that your career may take an entire trajectory. And I'm building upon the comments that have been made by the panel on the table. Please observe that not every career is a linear trajectory. There are non-linearities, and enjoy the journey. Thank you.
Thanks, yeah. It's with you, yeah. So one quick follow-up to him, because I want to come back to what he said, is that as career, do you employ researchers who work on refrigeration? And if so, what are the kinds of areas that they're working in?
Well, I mean, we definitely do look for, people who have the expertise or, pursuing career in that, domain. The skill set we definitely look for is, academic is something which, everybody comes with. You see the CV, you know he's with whatever percentage. What we look at is whether the candidate has the capability to kind of, face the challenges thrown at him. Because, you are in a field where you want to do something different. So when you try to do something different, you should be ready to face something who has not done, or you don't have any benchmarks to start with. So that attitude is number one. I mean, we probably hire about 10 or 12, and maybe by the end of year, 1 or 2 are there. And maybe after 2 years, we see the interest decline. It's mainly because of that. Number two, skill set which we certainly look at is that, I repeat what I said earlier, if you restrict yourself only to the core study, it will be difficult for you in the outer world. You certainly need to expand beyond that. We will have opportunities under refrigeration in multiple domains. Cold room is just one of it. Okay, you might have seen the kind of cold room requirements which is emerging due to the renewable energy sectors. The kind of battery storage and other things. I mean, that's an immense potential there. In terms of job opportunity, it's immense. It's up to you what you want to pursue. I mean, we need to have that clarity to start with, and then certainly, opportunities will knock you.
Thanks, Prashant. Okay, so we'll go to table 4. What's that? Couldn't hear you. Can you speak into the mic? Oh, you need some more time. Okay. Pass it on. Hi. Can you join this table? Come. But we are going to that table for the next question. So you come and sit here, discuss with them. Meanwhile, they'll start with their question. Yeah, go ahead.
So we as research scholars are working on problems, designing the solutions. But the major problem that we face is the lack of good tooling. We don't have good softwares, good models that can replicate real world analysis, that can validate that can be validated through reality with good data. So I would like to ask, what are the opportunities to and potential directions to work on in this area, basically?
You want to take that, Manish? Okay.
Yeah, maybe I'll take this question. It's not about unavailability of the tools today. Quite a lot of tools are available in any domain you think of. The challenge or the problem is being aware of what to look for and where to look for. I think such forums give you that platform to explore, right? I mean, we are, of course, in a follow-up session, we're going to talk about one thing on such tool. But, with domain, like if you ask a software guy, there are multiple disciplines and they find tool for everything. You are not different. Though we cannot compare ourselves like IT engineers that, you can have so many, multiple micro domains, but you certainly have got enough opportunity with respect to tools exposure, right? So there are tools available for heat load applications. There are tools available for simulations. There are tools available for daylighting. There are tools available for architecture, building envelope. Think of anything.
Just a minute. Are we answering your question? I want to make sure we are answering your question. But go ahead, repeat it, because I want to make sure we answer your question.
So it's mainly about the data as well as how, exactly replicating a single dimension of a system is possible. There are tools available, but what about interfacing? Because when we are researching, we are working on something bleeding edge. So for that, we need much better
So is your question about tools or data or both?
Both, actually, because on data, we develop tools and models. So
okay. Monish, you want to take this, and then Saket will come to you.
No, I think if I understood your question correctly, you're saying that when you're doing research or I totally agree that the many tools already existing that are there. For the first job is to identify if you're working with the right tool, but the second thing in the research and the data that is missing, the best thing is that's the biggest opportunity. I think that's what makes us, all of us here, because you are trying to investigate that missing links, and I think that's where probably, like if you're trying to investigate and fill in that voids in the data, will distinguish you as the actually researcher. If you're finding something that's already there, that's not the definition of research. You're just filling in the holes, right? But if you, identifying that missing links in the data and in the softwares is probably what you can actually come up with.
Okay, Saket, you want to take it?
Yeah, I think this is a very important question, especially from a research perspective, right? What if the tools are not there to address your question? But I think that's an opportunity, because if the tool is there to address your question, somebody has already done that research for you, right? And one thing that really distinguishes our practice is if a client comes to say, okay, this is our problem and can you use this tool to answer it? I say no, there are far more efficient people, efficient firms who can solve that problem because they've been using that tool for ages, right? So if they come to me with a problem that there's no tool to address, then we say, okay, let's define the problem, create the tool, and address the problem, right? So that's an opportunity if the tools are not there.
Okay, thanks, Saket. Jyotirma, you want to add something?
Yeah, if you have a choice, prefer open source based tools. Okay, so that your concern is that you are using multiple tools and you're not able to link them together. So if the nature is open source, then probably your concern would be addressed.
Great, thanks. Asad, you want to add something?
Excuse me, I just want to understand your problem a little bit. Why is data a concern? And sorry, I'm not from the refrigeration side, but is within initiative in the community like creating an open data set where people can exchange data, which are with certain communities help your cause? Because like for example, we are working on petroleum geofields, and Wolf is a data set that we used, and we are trained machine learning models on that. But that was in a very specified initiative of getting data from a brewery. I'm not sure that whether such an initiative, if can be decided by amongst the research scholars, you can make a start on collecting all the as an open data repository, and then it can build upon as the years pass by.
Thanks, Asad. Okay, so we'll go to this table now. No, we just did this one, that one. Yes. You got a question?
So my question is, what curriculum should the student prefer, or what changes can be done to make early career aspirant interested in the energy efficiency jobs?
What curriculum should you follow?
Or what changes can be done in the current curriculum system so that we are interested and skilled for the net zero jobs?
So I think what we are going to do is answer the first part of your question, that if you're a student who's already there, you can't change the curriculum. So let's not try to go there. What we'll answer is, given the curriculum that you have, what's the best way to get whatever you need to get for for a net zero jobs, right? Okay. So who wants to take that one? That's a tough one.
I don't think it's very straightforward. See, when you're working in a practice, you have a lot of consultants and partners to help you with, like when you're talking about energy consultants in a project. But at a college level, you being an individual is restricted. So it's good to get that awareness. So for instance, like I think Solar Decathlon is a great platform, even to get connected and know, first of all, what is the potential, because you are starting from nowhere and you want to really know what is the possibilities and what is it that your land that you can explore. Maybe probably taking an initiative such as that and getting explored to the world of energy, sustainability and what are the potential that are there could be a good start. And then from there you can build on to whatever you want to do.
Great.
Just to add on to that, a lot of industry experts do visit the colleges. The colleges have that connection with the industry experts, and some of the colleges are open to have that discussion in terms of what are the changes the curriculum should have. Okay, during our days, probably we did the microprocessor, 8085 or 8086 and things like that. Today, you have got sophisticated tools. It all happened because, the to and fro interactions between the industry experts and the college, and they upgrade. It's just not an overnight thing to change the curriculum. Yes, he mentioned about Solar Decathlon. Like that, there are many platforms available to you to pursue what you aspire for. I mean, it's just that you need to look for information. You need to look for what you are interested in. Then you will get the answers for that.
Yeah, Asad.
Coming from the education side, I understand that this question often comes. Now come on the other side of the table. The curriculum, why it is not changing very frequently as you are requiring? Because the change in curriculum not only requires just adding of topics, but it requires also thinking about infrastructure. And these are very thought about investments that have to be done. There are timetables involved. There's do you have the number of classrooms, whether you're introducing a course or over there. At a student level, you may think that it's an answer that what you can do. Number one, use your technical society. So first of all, you have got your technical festival, technical society, and you have got number of people who are here. Invite them as guests. Create that dialogue. Okay, that these are new ideas which are there. It will create an sensitivity amongst your student population. And also it will get encouragement, and that was and also obtain encouragement. There was another question on key takeaways. Well, now my question to you is, now let us say the next Energize edition is coming in 2 years. How would you motivate your juniors to join this conference? Are we taking some follow-up actions? Every one of you students have been awarded a very prestigious travel and a conference grant. But will the action end on November 4th, or it has to continue? My appeal to you is that don't let the flame which has been begun here extinguish. Please have some follow-up actions. The follow-up actions is through your technical societies. Also, you can use the industry personnel over here to understand what kind of certifications are going on. And once, as undergraduate students, you have always the opportunity to request your head of the departments and your department chairs to invite people as plenary speakers for your conferences. Please use that opportunity, because that would help in creating a dialogue within the institution, what changes are needed, and or create a possibility for bachelor's projects, master's projects, and possibility for doctoral research. So you can do a lot being a student, even though you may, the time changes for curriculum are too large, but still you can make an impact. Thank you.
Thanks, Asad. I'll also answer your question. So you may or may not get the opportunity to attend a conference like this. You're lucky you got it. You got to see the kind of work that's being done by the researchers, by leading institutions. But you can always go to the websites of, AEEE, WRI, TERI, CEPT University, IIHS, all of these institutions that are working on this. There's also consulting firms that are doing work on these projects. They are publishing their work. Look at that work and see what they are doing. See if there's anything in your curriculum that relates to that. If you can't find it in your curriculum, go extracurricular. Because that's the best way for you to get the flexibility that you need. And believe me, just as you might be frustrated about the fact that you can't learn what you want in your curriculum, you've got your faculty who's frustrated they can't teach what they want outside the curriculum or within the curriculum. So your faculty are likely to relate to the problem that you're having, and they might be willing to guide you towards this also. So, do that. All right, so we'll come to the last table here. You want to add something, Gayatri?
We have a lot of clubs in the colleges, so we can start some club where it can help to at least a group of students to come together and take things forward.
Sure, yeah. Yes, last table here.
Hello.
After them, yeah.
Hello. My question is that considering the urgency of addressing climate change and achieving net zero emissions, what are the key skills and attributes for someone like me who may not excel in traditional academics, but is passionate about creating a company for sustainability and developing a base for uniting passionate people, professionals, who can actually do something about it to drive the global change?
Okay. So passionate people may not be the best in terms of your grades. What's your background? What are you studying?
So I'm a mechanical engineer.
Mechanical engineer trying to get towards net zero buildings or net zero future, and you're saying what are the skills that I need to get there, right? Okay. Who wants to take that? All right.
Sure. I mean, first of all, in a mechanical student, we don't look at his academics. Okay. So what we certainly look at is his skills to manage things. Okay. His skills to manage things in a way. Assume that you have been given a project. How many stakeholders you will be able to connect to? You will be able to get the work done from. I can quote a simple example. Think of your one simple college project, and you have to probably coordinate with 10 different types of people who have the expertise in 10 different things, and you are the leader. And you will go all out and get that things done. And sustainability is also the same thing. First and foremost, you need to be a very good, salesman. When I say salesman, you need to pitch that idea to the leadership, telling that, change is something which it is the time for you to change. So to back it that, you need a guy who is good at measurement and verification, and you need to catch hold of them to set the benchmarks. We have heard that session just before. Then the third thing is, you need to be in a position to talk to a consultant, get the things out for you. My management looks at 1, 2, 3 goals. Can you support us in that? All that is required is follow-up, and you need not have to be expert in any of these areas. All you need is kind of event management skills. Okay, what do you think today's PMCs are doing? Okay, so what do you think their core expertise is? Their core expertise is time management. Their core expertise is getting the things done on time so that they deliver things to their customer on time, right?
Okay, anybody else wants to take that question? That question. Hang on just a minute. I'm coming to you. Okay, so I'll add to what Prashant said. That as a mechanical engineer, you're building some fundamentals through your curriculum and through what you're learning. Whether you get good grades or not, being able to use those fundamentals to be able to solve problems is important. And as you go through your curriculum, as you go through your years of undergraduate education, just make sure that you are tackling some problem that is addressing climate change through either your project work or through extracurricular activities, and you'll start linking what you're learning with how to solve that problem. And that's what will help you to get your job also. Okay. All right, let's get your question in.
Yes, sir. Actually, I just submitted my PhD thesis in air quality field. Air quality monitoring, measurements and monitoring. And I am a mechanical engineer. So if I see for jobs in government field or private field, so in government field is what happens, they ask for the
your bachelor's in environment field, but I am from mechanical and I did PhD in air quality field. So what are the job opportunities in the private sector?
Frankly speaking, you are one of the most sought after. Okay, post-COVID especially, the emphasis on healthy buildings has gone multifold. So the key criteria for a healthy building is IAQ, okay, indoor air quality requirements. So who else can understand that much better than you, right? There's immense opportunity. I can quote few examples. A lot of air handling unit companies today, AHU you understand, right? So they are putting a lot of investments in research and things like that. How do they differentiate from others? Because everybody puts a fan, everybody puts a filter, at best UV, and then delivers a machine. So what they can do much better? This is an evolving space, right? So you certainly have a lot of opportunity. Don't lose heart. I mean, there are a lot of openings for you.
Thanks, Prashant.
Thank
So
you, sir.
remember, try to translate what you're learning to indoor, as not just outdoor air quality. And
Mine
that'll
work
open
is
up your
for
field.
indoor
Yeah?
only.
Okay. Great. Thank you, guys. I think we are out of time. I'm hoping that you got something out of this. After this session that we are going to have from Prashant, in the next half an hour, there will be a break. All of these people, you've identified who they are. So go after them and ask them more questions, whatever burning questions you have. Okay? Cool. Go to the next session. So